Okay, I don't create too many videos like this, but I want you to keep this video to yourself. I'm going to share with you some information that has the potential to shift your entire reality in the next few months. Now, it's likely that I was in the exact same position as you last year. Now, I couldn't sign clients, I couldn't make money, I could not book meetings. No matter how hard I tried, everything felt like a struggle. And I was naturally introverted, so that adds to the equation, right? But I was probably in the same position or similar position as you watching this right now. So that's why I'm making this video. So why was I putting in more hard work than I ever am or am now, but still not able to make money back a year ago? And this is one of, I'm gonna share a collection of lessons in this video. So definitely watch it all the way through because, quite frankly, if you don't know all of the points, it won't work. So here's the first lesson, and it taught me chasing versus attraction. In 2023, I was chasing constantly. I was doing whatever I could to get clients, to book meetings, and what I learned was that the more I wanted something, the less it worked. The more I pushed, the more it pushes back. You will never chase to victory or to win. You have to attract. Everything in life and success in general is attraction. If you are going to build a great company, if you think about the definition of a company, it's essentially a group of people. That is the definition of what a company means. Now, how can we attract a great group of people? Because you're not going to chase and find great talent. You're not going to go out there and find great clients. You have to get them to come to you and you have to get them to like you. Because you've got to understand that people aren't necessarily buying into the service you're selling, they're buying into you as an entrepreneur. If you get someone to give you money, they aren't giving you money because, well, obviously the service helps, you need to, believe in your service and you need to have a good service, but they're investing into you as an entrepreneur. Now, this leaves us with the question, how can we attract whatever we want in life and to get whatever we want? So, attraction is essentially communication. If you can communicate, you'll find massive success. And this is what I wasn't doing at the start of last year, which I soon learned very quickly, because I would have made a lot more money very fast if I would have done this. So the problem was that I was trying to use my hands to make money. If we go right, let me go here, you can see that I was typing, I was sending messages, I was doing hard work in such, but I wasn't getting anywhere, and it was because I was using my hands to make money. And it's much harder to resonate with your market through copy, so through words, through like text on a screen rather than words. Because with words, you can get more personality across, you can get character across, and people will like you for you. Now, if we bring appointment setting down to first principles, right, it's simply getting another human to agree to get on a meeting with you. So how it works, right, is your offer is condensed into words. This could be explained as external stimuli, which is how prospects or leads will react when your offer is simply presented or put in front of them. Now, an example of an external stimuli would be how your body reacts to medicine. So likewise, how will your prospects react when you put a series of words or text in front of them? It should create some type of emotional appeal. It should make them, want to improve their current situation. It should make them want to invest in you and get on a meeting to, because it should provoke curiosity. That is how your external stimuli should have, it should be a precursor to getting on a meeting, basically. So that's how it works. So right now, if your offer has a quantifiable outcome, meaning that you can get X niche, X amount of appointments, X amount of clients, or save them X amount of time. So as long as your offer increases money, which is performance, or decreases someone's time, which is convenience, your offer is not the problem. Yes, it does play a role, but the main problem you're probably encountering is that your offer is not being put in front of enough people to have that external stimuli effect of them thinking, oh, I need to fix this. Or I'm interested in what this guy has to say or offer. So you need to increase the throughput. Now, throughput, if we bring a client acquisition system to its core, right, you've got inputs, which is throughput, you've got outcomes, you've got latency, which is the time it takes for the input to become the output, and then you've got feedback and KPIs and metrics. So the problem is you're not getting enough throughput, you're not putting your offer in front of enough people. Now, the problem with using your hands or doing cold calls or doing cold emails is that it's not the most effective. Yes, you will get clients if you work hard, but it's just not the quickest way. Simply because of the fact that unlike content or unlike ads or where you're speaking and you're putting personality across, it's going to be hard to get clients if you aren't doing that. So use your mouth rather than your hands to get clients. So that's something to think about right now if you are currently not using your mouth. And if you're too scared to put yourself out there, then you simply probably don't deserve success, basically, which is harsh. But the way I think about it, if I want to have the impact and the freedom and the money and the life that I want, I have to do things that aren't comfortable, and putting yourself out there isn't comfortable, especially as me. I'm an introvert. I'm not designed, it feels, but I also understand that you can't just go through life being like me, introverted. You have to adapt. And the good part is that you are adaptable. You're not stuck in your position. You can change. You can put yourself out there. You can create content. You can do the work. You can change. So I'm going to go over some even more fascinating and paradigm shifting points in a minute, right? So keep watching, because this will potentially change your life if you apply it. So we are put on this earth to create. Point blank, period, right? God created. It doesn't matter if you're religious or not. It's just how it is, right? We're put on this earth to create. You need to create systems. You need to create content. You need to create a great service and love every part of the journey. So if you want to be more lucky, people don't understand this, but the number one way to become more lucky in life is to already think you're lucky, is to wake up every day being actually grateful. And by shifting your perception of hard work to the point where you are grateful for hard work, because you understand that if it wasn't for hard work, everyone would be making the money they want to make, or have the freedom they want, or be able to provide for their families. So by making it, understanding that it's going to be hard to get to where you want to be, it kind of has some type of relaxing feel, because you understand that most people are going to give up. So simply by not giving up, you're going to win eventually. You need to understand that the best things in life are just delivered after the longest walk, and that obviously is a metaphor, but you get the point. You should start to be grateful that it's not easy, because it wouldn't mean anything if everyone could do it. So understand that. Be grateful that you have the ability to actually make money and use your hands and speak, because some people don't. But not being grateful and already thinking you're lucky is a great way to actually increase your luck, and increase the frequency to the point where you're going to have good things happen to you on a daily basis. So now let's talk about the second lesson I learned last year. Really important one. So as you can see, right, we've got a quick diagram. We've got memory, time, and effect. Now, most people are familiar with cause and effect. And if you aren't, cause and effect is very simple. You do something, you're going to get an output. You send a cold email, you're going to get either a response or no response. It's still an effect, right? Everything is cause and effect. However, there's one thing that people don't understand, which is memory. Memory is involved in this. And let me explain, right? So you are here. Let's say you do the hard work today. You do cold calls, you create content, you run ads, whatever it is, I don't care. You get the point. You won't see results here. Even though it's most painful here, you're not going to see results. Nor will you see results here, nor here, nor here. And as days goes on, right, your memory starts to fade, because your memory is strongest as the day is going, where you're doing the painful activity, right? So this is a really interesting concept to understand, because most people get to here, right, and they've forgotten about the hard work they did here, and then they give up, because they don't understand that if they can just keep going, the effects are going to be insane. But most people stop here and just do something else, because their brain is fried and they've got shiny object syndrome, and they hop between different business models. So if you can just ride it through, you're going to get the effects, even though memory will fade. And it's interesting, because what I understood, right, was the work I was doing right at the start. If we go back here, now I understand that probably has put me in this position, because I was probably making it a few thousand a month here, but it wasn't anything special. So the work I'm doing has caused this position because the effects have started to take place now, which is like 8 months later, 10 months later, which is crazy. So that's a really important thing to understand. It takes a lot more time than people tell you. So the path is pretty simple, right? It's not too complicated scaling a business. There's going to be bottlenecks. It's not going to be easy, right? But the problem is that it's much longer than what all these other people are telling you online. And it is hard. It is very hard, by the way. But it's kind of simple. Like, what you should be doing. Like, if I asked you right now, what should you be doing on a day-to-day basis, you could probably tell me the inputs that you should be doing that are painful, because most often than not, it's the most painful things that are going to, move you forward. But nonetheless, right, you kind of know what you need to do, but it's just longer, and the effects turn out longer than you expect. So Warren Buffett says it's a good year if he makes 3 good decisions. Insane, right? He says that it's a good year if he makes literally 3 decisions. Jeff Bezos' thinking is literally backed up by decades of research on thinking. He's obsessed with it, as well as product design, but that's a story for another day. So it shows that you only need to make a few good decisions to change your reality. However, here's the catch. Most people who are starting out, their ability to make good decisions is completely ruined by emotion. And let me explain, right? In order to shift your reality, we need to make decisions you haven't made yet. Because one thing's for certain, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep doing the same thing, you're likely going to get the same outcome. Obviously, we do have the concept of cause, effect, and memory. So you could get the results in a month, 2 months, a year down the road. But I want to explain this point of this to you. So data is fractal. Now, fractal is essentially meaning that, let's say you were to do 10 pieces of content. Actually, no, let's say, because you need, here's the mistake, right? Most people would create 10 pieces of content and then give up because they aren't seeing results. However, let's say you let's say you put out 500 videos on YouTube. Now, 500 is a big enough data set for us to make a decision. And what would happen is, if you did another 500, it's unlikely that you would get a different result from the first 500. Now, this is different with different sort of like client acquisition systems, right? Because if you were to do 500 emails, that's absolutely nothing. Like, you need to be able to, you need to be able to do like 5,000 to get some type of data in order to make a decision on whether you should change the copy, the lead sourcing method, and things like that, right? So, but most beginners make decisions inaccurately and through emotion. They do the work for, a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, but they don't understand this. They don't understand that if they were to just ride it out and keep doing the painful thing, even though the memory is, there, they're going to get the effect later on. So, and by the way, a fractal dimension of 0 means that, it's no spread, and a fractal dimension equal to E means that the spread is maximum. So if you do X amount of volume or whatever, client acquisition, whatever, or it doesn't really matter. This video is for anyone who sells like some type of high ticket service, or just an online business, I guess. You get the point. If you do X amount of things, it's unlikely the result will be different. Assuming you have a big enough data set. But once again, people underestimate the data set they're needed in order to make a good decision. So going into 2024, right, now you understand that the only thing that separates you from being where you want to be is a few series of good decisions. You need to understand how to make good decisions. So you need to be able to control your thoughts as these control your decisions. So let me explain. I think this was a quote by Sun. I can't pronounce the name. If you've read the book The Art of War, you'll know what I mean. It's a pretty good book. But yeah, basically, your thoughts become your words become your words. No, I think I messed that up. But yeah, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. So your habits then become your character, and your character then becomes your destiny. So what you are, and your reality. So it all starts with your thoughts. So we need to be able to make these accurate. But most people's thoughts are not accurate. That's the problem here. You need to reverse engineer it, because most people think that it's the habits, but that's not how it works. So Your thoughts will try to sabotage due to the brain and body not liking change. So by nature, right, the brain and body do not want to change. They are happy. They like homeostasis. They like staying at the same temperature. They do not like chaotic situations. Or, the human body is meant to survive. That's what we're put on this earth to do, survive and reproduce. So by nature, the body and brain does not like changing out of its current self. So you're going to get voices telling you to pick up your phone and go on Instagram, or revolve back to your original self when you do start changing. But here's the catch: most people think, and this is a massive problem I'm going to explain, right? You need to do less. Here's what I mean. So throughout the day, your brain and body will try to get you to do certain activities, like pick up your phone, like watch Netflix, scroll on Instagram. You'll get a voice telling you to eat that certain food, right? So in order to eliminate and control this, and one thing is kind of interesting, you can't really control this too much, but you need to understand that it's a process. So what I would recommend you to do right now for 2024 to have an amazing year and to actually eliminate bad habits, because your habits become your character becomes your destiny, so forth and so forth. So have a notepad, and whenever you get an urge to do whatever you do, right, Netflix, scroll on Instagram, you get the point. There's probably 100 different other things that is going on in your mind. But I want you to basically write the numeral 1 after you don't do it. So after you ignore the voices telling you to do this, you're going to write on a notepad a tally. So next time, and you'll probably have about 50 in a day. 50 times a day, you'll probably get this, voice or whatever you feel telling you to eat chocolate or, go onto YouTube or scroll. You're just going to write the number every time you don't do it. Now, the goal is to beat the number you did yesterday. So by the end of the year, you're going to have a bulletproof habit system. And this is what I kind of mean about thinking in systems. So thinking in systems is basically just everything you do day to day. Think of it as a system, an input, an output, and create better systems for your life. And by doing that, as a byproduct, you're going to get better results. So no one cares about your fancy morning routine. It doesn't matter. The problem with all these self-improvement gurus is that they teach you everything else but actually doing the work. If you think about all the millionaires you look up to that tell you health is important, yes, health is massively important, but what you don't understand is that these billionaires and these millionaires, they used to just wake up and work, and then once they had the money, they started being healthy. Now, do I recommend that? Not necessarily. You can still be healthy. Obviously, you can go to the gym, you can try to make money, but my point is that you don't need a fancy morning routine. Everything's cause and effect, so it doesn't actually matter what you do in the day if you do the cause and the inputs, because you're going to get the same outputs. Now, if anything, working within the first 90 seconds of waking up would be the most beneficial by a logic point, right? Because alpha brainwaves, and this is the light sleep state, or hypnosis stage, but hypnosis, can't spell, dyslexic, but you get the point, right? This feels, when you wake up and you feel a bit like drowsy, that's the stage. You're in the alpha brainwaves. So theta is essentially a deep state, or like a trance. Now, if you think about it, if you can work in the first 90 seconds, you're going to be closest to where your brain waves were because they were sleeping. And obviously when you sleep, you have dreams, it's a lot more creative, you activate another side, and different frequencies basically. But that's I could make a completely another video on that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try to keep this as less confusing as possible for you. But the point is that you're going to be most creative and you're going to be able to do the best work in the first 1 hour of waking up. Assuming that you have water and you drink a liter of water, because then your brain will expand because it's dehydrated. But you get the point. So my final advice, because I don't want to make this video an hour, going into 2024 to change your life, is to tell your story. Now, build a brand around you. Don't wish for outcomes, deliver on inputs, and the outcomes will come as a byproduct. Let's say you want to build a brand, just focus on the daily tasks that allow you to get what you want over time. Thinking in systems is everything. Now, hopefully this video has helped. I will also be uploading every other day on this channel for the entire year. Now, I'm doing that for accountability. I'm thinking in systems because, quite frankly, I don't really care about how many subscribers I have. I mean, obviously subscribe, please, because I want you to come along for the journey. It's going to be one hell of a ride. But yeah, I don't care, or I'm not concerned about how much money I make, how many subscribers I have, XYZ sort of external outputs. I'm just going to do what I can. And that naturally will put less pressure on me. It will naturally allow me to make more money, because being an entrepreneur, and the best way I can describe this, or the best quote I've heard about being an entrepreneur is it's kind of like jumping off a cliff and trying to build your parachute on the way down. That is essentially what you're doing. It's going to be chaotic, that you can't control certain aspects or outcomes, and if you do, then you're constantly going to be overwhelmed, because I think overwhelming aspects of your life come from trying to control passive activities, basically, which is contrary to active things which you can control. So hopefully that makes sense about being overwhelmed. But I'm going to deliver stupid amounts of value on this channel for completely free. And if you want to follow along for this ride, then just subscribe. I know I said I don't care about subscribers, but I want to help you as much as possible and give you as much free value. So if you want that, then subscribe. And as a deal, I will try my best to upload every other day on this channel. And I've put that as a bit of accountability. So if I don't, then you can come to me and kick down my door. I'm joking. But hopefully you found this video valuable, and I wish all of you an amazing 2024. And if you want to, speed up the success, then I'll leave a link in the description. You can work with me and I will personally coach you to hit your goal of whatever that is. So have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.